What is up, YouTube? I'm Jared, you are watching Spinning Wheel, and today I am driving a 2016 Ford Fusion SE. Now, the Ford Fusion SE has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it comes with 175 horsepower. Doesn't sound like an awful lot, but this car actually has some pretty decent guts. And normally when I test drive a vehicle, I only get like a couple hours to test drive this thing. This car is a little different. We actually rented this car to go to Wyoming, the state of Wyoming, and I live in Indiana. That's a 22-hour road trip one way. So I've been in this car for almost 50 hours basically, with all the traveling and stuff that we did out in Wyoming, which I apologize, that's why I didn't post a video last week. I was gonna try to get something up there, but it didn't work out. Anyways, this is the 2016 Ford Fusion. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. One of the first things I would like to talk about is the interior of this vehicle. I spent an awful lot of time in it, so I've gotten quite familiar with it. These seats are super comfortable, especially for long driving. They've got lumbar support. There's so many adjustments on the seats that you can do. It made it so comfortable. I didn't have a single back issue the entire trip, which was fantastic. Now the back seat, I did ride in the back seat a little bit while my friend drove for a couple hours. The back seat, not as comfortable to drive or to sit in, but still really, really comfortable as far as for long drives. This car did really, really well. The controls for the radio, the stereo, the air conditioning, all that kind of stuff, really, really simple to use. I mean, and everything is right here in arm's reach. It's really nice. Ford did a nice job of laying everything out and just making sure that it flows nice and it made sense to the user, which is really nice. The one thing that I did not like, and this may just maybe me, and it's my incompetency with technology. It took me like 30 minutes to set up my phone with the stereo so that I could play music for the road trip. Like 30 minutes, not joking. 30 minutes to set it up, and then once we got set it up, it was fine until about halfway on the trip home, and it stopped working. It wouldn't connect to our phones. We couldn't use the Bluetooth anymore. It was kind of upsetting, but for the most part, the technology side of the sync aspect didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, and it was a little confusing, but not terrible. It wasn't like it was the end of the world or anything like that. Now, the cabin is very spacious. It feels really big, and it's not. but it feels huge. I mean, there's plenty of legroom in the back. The way the dash is set up, it kind of slopes forward into the seats and the steering wheel and the shifter knob, and it just feels far away from you, and it just makes this cabin feel really, really spacious. And it really isn't, I mean it is, but it's really not as big as it makes it feel. But a very nice overall designed interior, very comfortable, and like I said, long trips, this car was amazing. I really did not expect it to be as nice as it was. The Ford Fusion does weigh almost 3,500 pounds, which makes it a heavy car, but it doesn't feel like a heavy car at all. And maybe it's just because it's bigger and it's not that heavy for its size. I'm not sure, but the suspension setup on this car is perfect. Right now I'm driving actually down a road that's actually pretty bumpy, and I'm not really feeling it. The car's kind of just like floating over the bumps and everything. So for cruising, for long drives, this suspension is perfect. It's a great setup. Now the transmission being an automatic, which I'm not usually a fan of, but for a long drive it was actually really nice. Trust me, very nice. But the automatic transmission in the Fusion feels a little sluggish at times, and it's not super responsive. So like if you need to pass somebody on the highway and you do a real quick kick down, try to kick it into that next gear down so you can accelerate quickly, it kind of takes a couple seconds to actually recognize what you're wanting to do. And that was a little frustrating at sometimes on the highway when I'm trying to go really quick and pass people that are going slow. But overall, I mean, the transmission wasn't so bad that I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awful, I can't handle this transmission anymore. It wasn't like that at all. It just at times felt sluggish. When it wanted to shift, it would maybe stay in the high range too quick or too long before shifting. Just little things like that. But overall, I mean, drove nice. It handled, I think we put 3,000 miles on the car in the course of a week, and it handled it just fine. It was perfect. So I guess I can't really say anything bad about the Ford or about the Fusion, other than it seems a little sluggish when it's trying to shift, and when you're trying to do a kickdown and accelerate rather quickly, it likes to stay in gear just a little bit too long, I think. But that might just be me used to a manual transmission and shifting when I want to shift. So I guess I need to drive more automatics more often. Probably not. Alright, so that's it for me. Hopefully you had a wonderful time watching this video. I had a great time making it. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Comment what your thoughts are on the Fusion. Comment what your thoughts are in general. I don't really care. Comment. Just comment. It's fun. I like reading the comments. I like to respond to the comments when I can. So definitely do that. Everybody have a wonderful day. Keep it yagging, and I will see you all later.